Good evening, everyone. My name is Christina. I am on the Special Events Commission with my fellow commissioners. We would like to thank you very much for coming out tonight and to our annual Shining Star Gala and celebrating these wonderful winners that we have. So at this moment, if my special events commissioners, if they can possibly stand up and be recognized, you've done so much hard work. So I really appreciate it. There's one, yep, one here. Today we are here to celebrate this year's amazing Shining Star winners. There are 7 category winners. All of them are well-deserved for this wonderful recognition. They are now among an elite group. Okay, tonight we have many past winners. I know I've seen a few that are here. I'd also like to recognize you, any past winners, if you can possibly stand up. So well-deserved. Our commission would like to thank very much all those people that were involved in making this event fantastic. And I hope everybody likes it. We're back in Mount Prospect. I hope everybody appreciates that. A wonderful looking venue. I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank our generous sponsors and our wonderful vendors. I'd like to mention our gold sponsors. HQ Resident, Mount Prospect Lions Club, Nicholas and Associates, Peterson Roofing, and Prospect Place. There is also a list, thank you. There is also a list of our silver and bronze sponsors right on your table. Everyone got one of these with all our sponsors on here. I'd also like to thank our venue here today. Sam, the owner, and his staff did a wonderful job putting these tables together and getting everything done with new lightings and a lot of updates. They did a beautiful job and made this venue really, really pretty. I'd also like to thank Purple Rose for the beautiful flowers on some of the tables, actually all the tables. Yep, they're wonderful. Their Olive Palace are wonderful to work with. I love them. I also want to thank Public Works. I know they have done quite a bit to make this event, yes, a success. Okay, so now Mayor Hofert will give the official greeting. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy your evening.
Good evening, everybody. It's so great to see so many friendly faces. And you know what else is great? It's great to be home in Mount Prospect. Not that the Cotillion wasn't a great venue, but it's great to be back where we belong. And I was reminiscing with somebody. We had the 75th anniversary here, and then 2 years later we started the Celestial Celebration, the Shining Star Awards, right here in this venue. And at the 75th, if many of you were there, we had 800 people packed into this room. It was pretty cool. So good evening, everybody. I'm Paul Hofert, the mayor of Mount Prospect, and I welcome you all to the 31st annual Shining Star Gala Awards dinner. People helping people. At the core, that's what the Shining Star Awards are all about. People who have gone out of their way to help others or help their community with no expectation for any benefit coming back their way. They simply do for others in the name of lending a helping hand and contributing to the greater good. Over the years, we have witnessed so many selfless acts by citizens who gave of themselves, stepped out of their normal everyday lives, put themselves in harm's way, or gave up their own time and resources for the benefit of others and because they love their community. Many of the Shining Star Awards are built on a foundation of volunteerism. We would not be able to host such a variety of wonderful community activities if it were not for the volunteers who donate their time, their energy, and their resources to local organizations. We could never enjoy all the great community activities and organizations we have if it were not for these volunteers who give of themselves for others with no monetary compensation. We live in a great village, if I say so myself, full of people. Don't we live in a great village? I think we do. We live in a village full of people who just want to help others and are regularly looking for the opportunity to do so whenever they can. People who coach sports, people who volunteer at our schools, people who commit significant amount of time to our school boards, our park boards, our village board, our library board, our village commissions and committees, people who dedicate themselves to the scouting program, people who organize and conduct our 4th of July festivities, people who put on the weekly farmers market and the cruise nights, people who provide a Thanksgiving meal and a day of activities to naval cadets from Great Lakes. Or people who simply cut their neighbor's grass or snowblow everyone's driveway on their block, and the list goes on and on. It runs the gamut, as we all have our own way of showing helpful care to our fellow citizens in Mount Prospect. Now, many of these are daily or weekly acts of kindness to help someone who is in need, such as taking an elderly neighbor to their dialysis appointment. Doing for those who cannot do for themselves. They give of their time in order that their neighbors or their friends can stay in their homes. Some of these are random acts of kindness, such as jumping a person's dead car battery or helping find a lost dog. Some are of-the-moment acts of action, such as a former Shining Star Award winner who ran into a burning home to pull their neighbor to safety. Some are lifetime commitments, like a former Shining Star couple who adopted and raised 8 children. Over the past 31 years, we have honored well over 300 Mount Prospect citizens or Mount Prospect organizations with a Shining Star. Now, some of these people we know, and some we do not. In my experience, if it were not for the Shining Star Award acknowledging them, most would just prefer to remain anonymous. And that is why we recognize those who would never recognize themselves. People like Jack Kiefer, Bill Bickley, Bob Fay, Moms Who Care, Mary Kate Dempsey, Stanley Giron, Paul Carlstead, Carol Tortorello, Lisa Angel, Alexandra Wilson, Rich Digger Dubik, Ron Dasher, Helping Hands, Carol Orn, Les Dureau, I'm sorry, Les. I know your name, Durav. Skip Farley, Bob Huser, Mike Zarnick, who's taking pictures tonight, Bob McKillick, Mark Bussey, George Gaddis, and Sue Ramstead, and so many more. And in fact, 2 of those names we just lost in the last 2 weeks. Some of these people are still with us, and some are here in the room tonight, and some have gone on ahead. We are clearly a village of giving and caring people, and it is for that reason and that reason alone, Mount Prospect is the place that Linda and I intend to stay for the remainder of our time. I believe we're not alone in that endeavor. In my mind, there's no other place on earth to live. So congratulations to all of our honorees this evening, and I must say that we have some incredibly special and deserving people to recognize tonight. So thank you all for being here and to helping us celebrate our Shining Star honorees. Everyone, enjoy your evening, and thank you. And now Ron Willers will give us our invocation.
Thank you, Mayor. Let us pray. Almighty God, Father of us all, we thank Thee for the privileges of life and the blessings we enjoy through Thy graciousness in our country, the land in which we are given the freedoms of speech, religion, and the pursuit of happiness. We ask for your blessings upon us as we gather to honor our neighbors who have used the gifts you have given them to serve others. Please watch over the innocents in Ukraine, Israel, and Palestine, and those in harm's way around the world. Help heal their wounds and welcome the fallen into your kingdom. We ask also that you continue to watch over our first responders who offer their lives in order to protect us, our families, and our properties. And to our military, both here and around the world, who selflessly defend our liberties and freedoms from those who would take them away. We ask your blessings upon our food today, and to the hands that prepared it, and to those who will serve it. In thy mercy, may we find our peace. Grant us from above this day the challenge of high endeavor, the beauty of a humble spirit, the strong courage, and the will to continue to glorify thee, praise thee, and love thee until the end of time. Amen. Amen.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here tonight to honor Mount Prospect's 2023 Shining Stars. New this year and needed more than ever is the Inclusivity Award. This award recognizes a person or organization who works to make others feel safe and included in this community.
I'm Donna Alexander.
Bob Alexander.
I've lived on South Albert Street for 52 years. We're just about the only original people on the block, and we've always been fortunate. We have wonderful, wonderful people who have moved in on our block. And probably one of the most fun things the whole neighborhood enjoys is our block party we have every summer.
In addition to frequently hosting their neighbors, Bob and Donna also make time for those beyond Albert Street.
Well, for the last 2 years, I've been involved with Learn to Read for New Americans. One of the few countries where people are, and we should look at it as a blessing, wanting to come to this country. Nobody goes to Russia. And these people, they come with limited English, but they want to better themselves because this is a land of opportunity. They're really a good group of people to work with, and a couple of them have gotten their citizenship. And it makes you feel good to be a cheerleader, so to speak, for these people.
I'm the chairman of the board for our PDO group, which is a Parent Day Out group. Anytime a mom wanted to go shopping or had a meeting or an appointment, she could drop her child off for an hour or two. Our summer program had over 100 children this year, so it was wonderful.
After so many years in Mount Prospect, Bob and Donna see inclusivity as a point of pride in their village.
I think it's very important. Regardless of their ethnicity or background, we need to get along.
Just the library, for instance, it was much smaller when we first moved here, and When they opened up the section on the south side of Mount Prospect, I just thought, wow, that's terrific. Because we have people from other countries, and it's nice to bring something closer to where they're housed right now.
I mean, it's a great village. We have a very respectful and efficient police department, fire department. My grandson, they live just a few miles from here. He said, Grandpa, Mount Prospect is a place I could raise a family. It's a good place to live.
Even in hard times, the love that Bob and Donna have shared with their neighborhood has always found its way back to them.
Our second son passed away 10 years ago, and the funeral was in Minneapolis, and the neighbors brought a contingent all the way to Minneapolis just to support us at the memorial service.
Just touched our hearts.
And the winner of the 2023 Inclusivity Award is Bob and Donna Alexander.
Here we are with our shining stars, Bob and Donna Alexander, who just won the award for inclusivity. Congratulations on your Shining Star Award.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to.
Well, I'm wondering if you can tell me a little bit about what you do to include everybody and how you make everybody feel self and very important here in Mount Prospect.
Well, myself, I'm involved in working with District 214 and learning to read for new Americans. And we do a little Meals on Wheels for our church. And Donna?
I help out with our PDO program. It's now full-blown into a preschool for children. And, we just felt with being retired, it was time to give back to our community. We love our neighborhood. We've always had wonderful neighbors, and they're so supportive. And they just make living in Mount Prospect very special for us.
And that's what I hear over and over, how special it is to live here. I know you're both retired educators.
Right.
Do you feel that background really was the impetus for what you do today?
Yes, it was. I've taken for a long time, it's time to give back. And about 3 years ago, I signed up for this program through District 214's Community Ed office. And it's been a real treat to work with people and find out I'm a cheerleader. I'm not, I want them to do well. And I did have one lady from Korea who got her citizenship, and that really made me feel good.
Absolutely. Well, I know you're both very humble, but we appreciate you here, and we want to honor you today. So congratulations on this honorable award.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next is the Star Spangled Banner Award. This award recognizes a resident who demonstrates pride in America through service, attitude, and commitment. This individual has assisted this country or a veteran in some meaningful way.
My name is Jim Parker. I live in Mount Prospect. I was born in Brooklyn, raised primarily in the South.
Following in his father's footsteps, Jim enlisted in the Air Force and was later deployed to Vietnam, where he served a rather particular role.
I was a killer, Howard. A bug killer. The Air Force needed a lot of people in my specialty code. To do my specialty code, you needed a background in biology, which was one of my undergraduate degrees. So I ended up with 6.5 years in the Air Force, and I was promoted to Tech Sergeant E6. And the Air Force, that was very rare.
After retiring, Jim began volunteering at the Kiwanis Club of Palatine and would later become its secretary.
In the middle of Kiwanis, I became involved in Honor Flight Chicago. Their mission is to provide America's senior veterans with an all-expense-paid trip to Washington, D.C. to see the World War II and Korea memorials that they had earned. The Vietnam Wall was actually built before the Korea Memorial and the World War II Memorial by a bunch of years. Vietnam veterans grew up in the 50s. World War II and Korea guys grew up in the Depression. They all had the same comment. I never thought of myself as a hero until you guys kept telling me I was a hero. So one of the things I really loved about it.
In 2018, Jim's recruiting for Honor Flight Chicago brought him to VFW Post 1337. After meeting the members, Jim instantly wanted to join.
Before I left the podium, I was a member of Post 1337, and I've loved every minute of it since. And that was 5 years ago. It wasn't just the new guy. I was the new guy they wanted to get involved in the organization in a number of different ways. When Dutch targets you, you can't avoid him. And I was the guy he decided that I was going to write all the press releases. So far, the 5 years I've been there, I've written over 100 of them.
Jim feels honored to receive the same award once given to Les Durov, commander of Post 1337.
The reason that Mount Prospect Post 1337 has been All-American for 5 years is Commander Durov. That's a big deal. I'm beyond thrilled to have not only been nominated for the award, but told I was wanted. We just want to help the veterans any way we can. We're told when we go out and we come across a veteran who might be a candidate for membership, we don't say, would you like to join our post? We say, how can we help you?
The winner of the 2023 Star Spangled Banner Award is Jim Parker.
We have Jim Parker, who has just won the Star Spangled Award honor here at the Shining Star Awards. First, I want to offer you congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
And I want to thank you for your service. I know you were in Vietnam.
I was in Vietnam. I was in the Air Force for 6 years. And here's something a lot of people don't know. My dad was in the Air Force for 28 years.
Wow.
I grew up as an Air Force base. I don't have a hometown. My hometown was whatever base Dad was stationed at. And he was a veteran of World War II in Korea. So I'm very proud to follow in his footsteps.
Absolutely. Those were going to be my exact words. I'm sure that your dad would be so proud of you.
If he was around. I do a lot of work for Honor Flight. And one of the reasons that drew me to Honor Flight was the fact that he wasn't around to participate in Honor Flight Chicago.
Right.
And by volunteering there, I sort of remember him a lot.
Absolutely. So the story goes that you attended a meeting and to help others enlist, and then you ended up sticking around. What happened there?
Well, the story goes like this. This is the truth. I was invited by the commander to make a presentation about Honor Flight Chicago to interest the members of Post 1337 in possibly signing up for the post.
Sure.
That's my job at Honor Flight Chicago. And as I was making my speech, I noticed the commander was standing behind me, was squeezing up on me. The treasurer, quartermaster on my left was squeezing up on me, and Dutch on my right were squeezing up on me. And the question came up, well, if you're a Vietnam veteran, how come you're not in the VFW?
Right.
Now, my normal line at that point was, because I was living in Palatine, I would say, Palatine doesn't have a VFW post. And Dutch said, who cares? And
here you are.
And cut to the chase, before I left the podium, I was a member of the post. And I've been thrilled about that decision, whether I made it or it was foisted upon me.
Right.
I've been thrilled with it ever since.
Well, they are very lucky to have you there, and we're lucky to have you here in Mount Prospect.
I am thrilled to be in Mount Prospect. I live in a wonderful neighborhood with wonderful neighbors, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, we're happy for you, and all the people who know you are happy to know you. So congratulations.
My people who know me are pushy. Thank you. Is that all? Is that it?
That's good. It's all good.
Our next award is the Community Partner Award. This award recognizes a business in Mount Prospect that has gone out of its way to be a good corporate citizen and a member of the local business community, therefore making Mount Prospect a better place to live and work.
My name's Claudia Boyle. I'm the owner of Van Driel's. I'm the third owner of Van Driel's. Van Driel's has been in Mount Prospect since the 40s. Our mission at Van Driel's is basically to take good care of the people who come to see us. So we're a medical supply. People who come to see us range from someone who's having maybe a few veins done or having a little swelling, to people who have serious medical issues. So our mission is to make people comfortable and make this experience as enjoyable as possible.
For years, Claudia has devoted her time not only to customers near and far, but also to one of Mount Prospect's biggest celebrations.
Most of my community participation is through the Mount Prospect Merchants, Downtown Merchants Association. And I've been a big part of the Oktoberfest Fall Festival for many years. So that's my big push. That's when we recruit lots of people, and it's a lot of work, but it's so much fun. Almost everything is free. We try to make it either completely free or at no cost for the kids' events. My part of this, my contribution to the group, there's about 10 of us who've been working on this for many years, is staffing the children's part of the program. So getting all the high school volunteers and the adult volunteers. It's such a happy event.
In 2023, Claudia said goodbye to a piece of family history, leading to a rediscovery of some fond childhood memories.
Van Driel's was my dad's pharmacy for many years. And it was in the building that was just recently torn down on the corner of 83 and Northwest Highway. And as it was coming down, it was a little emotional because I was kind of raised in that building. And then we came into my house, we pulled into the garage, and I've got a few storage trunks in my garage. And for the first time, my granddaughter asked, Mimi, what do you have in your treasure chests? And I said, Addie, I'm not even sure what's in there right now. And she said, well, can we open one? And I said, sure. So I went to the top one and I popped it open. And inside was an album my dad had put together of all the pictures from the old Van Driel's over the time and news paper articles that had been in there. So we brought it in and we were just looking at all these old photos and all these old memories. Such a lovely thing to do at that moment where it's sort of been this moment of sadness and then a little bit of reflection and some joyful memories brought back.
To Claudia, receiving a shining star isn't just about her contribution to her community, but also about honoring that family legacy.
Most of the joy I feel around this is because my folks were awarded this, the Shining Star Award about 15 years ago, sort of as they closed the old Van Driel's. And to have that sort of be a legacy, that makes me happy, that brings me joy.
And the winner of the 2023 Community Partner Award is my lifelong friend, Claudia Boyle, owner of Van Driel's Medical Support Wear.
And next up, we have Claudia Boyle, who has just won the Community Partner Award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So I know that you are the owner of Vandriel's, and it's a family business.
It is.
So tell me a little bit about the business and how you made it to be such a special, inclusive, wonderful, supportive business for the community and beyond.
Yeah, Vandriel's has been in Mount Prospect since the 40s. So for me, it's just a huge honor to be the legacy of so many years of contribution to the community. Herb Vandriel started this place. My dad took it over. He was a big part of the community. He was on the chamber for many years. And so now, in this iteration of Vandriel's, we're a specialty facility. So we draw from a big community. We draw from a really large area. But what that gives us the opportunity to do is to send people who are visiting Mount Prospect to some of the other shops and places in Mount Prospect.
Sure.
So they can see what our community is about. And people are usually really delighted, like, what a cute little town. So.
But what I understand, and you're being so very humble, is that people travel all over to come to Vandriel's, and not just because of what you provide to them, but also because of you.
Yeah, there's
so
there is some of it has become just this really specialty thing. We draw from Wisconsin, we draw from Indiana. People come from a really long distance because it is a service we provide. And somebody said they were on a national chat room, and they were talking about a certain condition, and there were people from all over the country, and somebody said, "You need to go see Claudia at Vandriel's in Mount Prospect,"
right.
Which is lovely.
Well, right. It's not only the product. I think that it's your patience and your emotion and your kindness and your passion that gave you this award, and that makes you such a special person.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely. And I would really like to acknowledge my lovely staff as well. I couldn't do anything without my wonderful, wonderful staff. And Susan Ruiz was the one who wrote that letter. I suggest anyone who likes to win an award, let Susan write the nominating letter. She did such a beautiful job. But on behalf of everyone, I'd like to accept this. It's so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We're lucky to have you in Mount Prospect.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you, and congratulations on this award.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we celebrate a new category. This is the Public Service Award. This award honors an individual who has gone far above and beyond their job duties, either as a one-off exceptional incident or consistently in their line of work.
My name is Greg Sill. I am the current crime prevention officer with the Mount Prospect Police Department. I've been with the police department now for the past 20 years, and I've been a resident in Mount Prospect for all of my life except for 4 years.
For 20 years, Officer Greg Sill has served a special role in the police department's Officer Friendly program.
Really, the focus has been on community engagement and building community relationships. Each school year I get to go and visit each classroom in Mount Prospect schools where I get to share information with kids, get to interact with them, get to build relationships with them. I happen to go to our senior centers in Mount Prospect and share information on scams and personal safety and building security and different topics like that. I've been able to also fill the role of our public information officer with the police department. So anytime there is anything that is newsworthy happening in the village from the police department standpoint, I'm usually the front person for that news to go out. It's been a joy for me to just spend time out in the community, being in businesses and talking to people and letting people ask questions and all that stuff. So it's been just a joy to be able to do all that.
Greg's greatest pleasure from the program is creating positive memories with the children he visits.
I've been in a store here in town, and I've had an adult worker that's come up to me, and they've recognized me as their time when they were in school here in Mount Prospect. I get to ask them about what they've been doing since they've graduated from the middle school level, and then their high school years and their college years and everything. That I think is something that I cherish, because I am seeing the good connections that I have been able to make. I'm so lucky to have that opportunity, and so lucky to be able to have done this for as long as I have been doing it.
Greg looks forward to more years of serving on the force, especially with its newest recruit at his side.
I was lucky enough to be selected as the handler for Charlie, our therapy dog. We're currently still in training. He's a really smart dog, and he actually is well behaved. As a police officer, a lot of times you do come across traumatic situations over time that can affect you, and so we're always trying to find ways to obviously take care of ourselves. We've been seeing police departments all across the nation that have really started doing this, and he is such a good dog, and he's so loving and caring and energetic, and he's going to serve such a great purpose here for not only our police department but for our community. I'm grateful for this award, but really it's a whole community award, it's a whole police department award. I wouldn't be sitting here without them and without my family and everyone that supports me and allows me to do what I've been lucky enough to do my life.
And the winner of the 2023 Public Service Award is Police Officer Greg Sill.
And next up is Officer Greg Sill, who just won the Public Service Award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled.
So I'm going to have to call you Officer Friendly. I'm sorry. I'm sure everybody does it, but that's who you are.
Yes, no, totally fine. It's one of those things where when I go into the classrooms, I get asked all the time. The kids are like, "Is your last name really Friendly?"
And the answer is?
The answer is no.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I know. I to see the just the breakdown of like, what? It's not really friendly. But no, it's always a blast to be in the schools and talk with the kids. And again, have that moniker as well. That's awesome.
So have you carved that out for yourself? I mean, this, persona of being friendly and being open and being approachable.
So I am very, very fortunate. The program that we've had in Mount Prospect from our police department of our crime prevention unit and our officer friendly program has been so tremendous throughout many, many years. And I'm just lucky to take the torch. I've had predecessors that have come before me that have had that officer friendly title and have lived it, and it's just an honor to be just following in their footsteps, but to spend the time that I have with the community and in the community in that role has been tremendous, and going into the schools and and I even have my children now are in school, and so I get to go into their schools and see them and their friends and everything, so it's just it's so nice.
I think it's important that children feel comfortable around an officer and not intimidated, but feel like they can come to you and approach you, and especially with your kids as they're, in their classrooms, it makes a really big difference. I know you offer up to seniors as well, so it's not just children. Tell me a little bit about the service dog, Charlie.
Yeah, so Charlie's just come to us about 6 months ago now, and we're in training working towards getting a certification to be a certified therapy dog team with the whole goal of taking care of the community and our police officers. I've already kind of been talking with some of the schools about him coming in with me when I go in for visits. And it's been an absolute yes. Oh my gosh, we can't wait. Can he come in now? The kids have seen pictures of him.
I want to meet him.
Yes,
Where is he?
Yeah, he's at home now. But yeah, so it's been so great. I'm so lucky that the police department and the chief and the administration have the the trust in me to bring that in that program to our community is just such an honor.
Well, we at Mount Prospect feel lucky to have you, Officer Friendly, as a part of the community, and to, kind of feel that approachable, warm, officer friendly feel throughout the schools and with senior citizens and just throughout the whole community. So thank you so much. Congratulations, a wonderful award.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yep.
With admiration, I present the Open Arms Award. This award recognizes an organization or community group that has readily opened its arms and its heart to the needy, lonely, and less fortunate.
My name is Martin Schaub. Been affiliated with the Moose Lodge for 6 or 7 years now.
I'm Chrissy, and I'm the administrator at the Moose Lodge. I've been associated with the lodge for 6 years.
Martin and Chrissy first joined the Moose Lodge because of their fundraising for children in need.
The Moose Lodge supports Moose Heart, which is a school for at-risk children that are orphaned or abandoned or come from a difficult home situation.
We do fundraisers all year long to help support those kids.
The Moose Lodge is also dedicated to being a welcoming environment for the children right here in our community.
We don't just want to be someplace where you leave the kids at home and come up there.
We love to have kids come in the lodge. So the Mount Prospect football, the princesses and guides have their meetings. They come to the lodge, they bring their kids. They help with spring cleanup, fall cleanup.
The lodge also knows how to bring its members and their families together for some year-round fun.
We do a lot of fun events at the lodge, from Oktoberfest to Breakfast with Santa.
We do annual picnics every year.
Valentine's parties.
The Music Fix coming to the lodge is huge. It's a weekend-long adventure that is just jam-packed with people and music and fun.
It's great to walk out on the back deck and just see the yard full and people in lawn chairs and just enjoying music on a great summer night. That's my best memory.
By generously sharing their space, the lodge has also supported other community organizations.
The building that we're in was originally the VFW's building. They built it, I believe, in the 50s, I believe. And then they moved to a smaller facility, and the Moose Lodge bought the building. We've since brought them in. They do their meetings in our facility. We provide that for them.
So they came to us and wanted to pay us for them to have their meetings every month, and we said, absolutely not. We don't want any monetary exchange. We want you to come home.
We want to support our veterans and support our service members wherever possible. The Firefighters Union meets there. We provide our facilities free of charge for them because they're our first responders. They're a huge part of the fiber of this community.
As they look to the future, the Moose Lodge seeks its next new members and more ways to serve Mount Prospect.
Just the feeling that you get for giving back to someone that can't take care of themselves or that deserves a better future. I think that's the most important part of it.
We're the family fraternity, so we want to be able to support the community, be a vibrant member. Mount Prospect's just a great town, great village.
We want to be part of the community. We want to have new members come in. We want to have people come and see what we're all about.
Moose Lodge 660.
We have Marty and Chrissy, who are officers of the Mount Prospect Moose Lodge 660, who just won the Open Arms Award. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would love to hear more about some of the philanthropic things that the Moose Lodge does and how you donate your money.
So the Moose Lodge is, we're called the family fraternity. So we support Moose Heart, which is a home out by Aurora for at-risk children. Orphaned, abandoned, whatever the case may be. So that's one of our big pushes.
Yeah.
We sponsor kids as they're going off to college. They need clothes and laptops and
you're telling me.
there you go. If you got a kid going to college, so that's a big push for us. And then we also support Moose Haven down in Florida, which is a retirement community for Moose members. And then just try to be good supporting members of the community.
Right.
VFW meets there, the American Legion meets there, the Firefighters Union meets there, all for free. We just provide the space. it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. And this is a generational thing. So you've got families and children of families. How does that work in terms of who actually attends through Mount Prospect?
So we're a private fraternity. You have to be a member to participate in our events, but it is multi-generational, as you say.
Yeah.
There's kids that their grandparents have been Moose members, and their parents are active Moose members, and they come and they play in our yard, and we have toy boxes downstairs in our hall, and they come and they play there. It's a wonderful place for families.
Oh, it's so nice that you guys give back to the community, not just you, but I know there's a whole host of people who are involved in this. Can you tell me about some of the other people and some of the things that they do to give back to the community through this Moose Lodge?
Yeah, and you're exactly right. We're all of the board members, everyone that helps run the lodge, we're all volunteers.
Yeah.
So and it truly takes a village.
Yeah.
So we have our activities committee. They're very active in supporting our children at Mooseheart and do a great job of fundraising events throughout the years. Our Women of the Moose, they do fundraisers throughout the year to support those children as well. And just they do arts and crafts fairs and things like that. Just to bring people into the community, and those organizations and those events need a place to hold them. And we're fortunate enough we've got a big facility and a big backyard, and so it's great to be able to give back to Mount Prospect. It's a great community.
And we appreciate all of the time and talent that you bring to the community through this donation and through giving of yourself. And I know Mount Prospect appreciates you too. So thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And on behalf of our board of directors and all of our volunteers and our members, it truly does take a village, and we're very grateful.
Yeah, well, we appreciate all of Moose Lodge 660, so congratulations to the whole group. Thank you so much.
I'm honored to present the next Unsung Hero Award. This award recognizes a person in our community who goes beyond the volunteer role expected of them, takes on multiple tasks, often thanklessly, and helps wherever a hand is needed. The village of Mount Prospect and the world in general is a better place just because of this individual.
My name is Jill Johnson, and I've moved to Mount Prospect in 2015. In September 1st is when we closed.
Jill Johnson, president of the Mount Prospect Junior Women's Club, found the joy of volunteering during her time in Chicago.
In 2012 or 2013, I found out through work that through ALS Chicago, they were looking for volunteers to stand at the Metro stop in Ogilvie and Union Station and collect money for ALS. Having an uncle who has been diagnosed, it was kind of an important cause, so I dragged my husband and my mom with me. Having people stop and put in money and tell us how much that moment meant, or how much their dollar or their $5 meant to this cause, was enough to just kind of like, okay, I've got to find other ways to give back.
After joining the juniors, Jill brought her enthusiasm to various events and responsibilities.
One of our biggest things is the block party, where we have a booth set up and we sell water, soda. We, try to minimize the amount of ice that we use, but we ask businesses and restaurants if they can donate ice to us. So kind of coordinating that, and then actually doing day of pickups, along with making sure that we have people at the tent at all hours, making sure that we're fully stocked, and just that everything has been coordinated before we even show up. There's a lot to go into it, but it's always such a fun event, and anywhere that you can be with this amazing community is always a win. So,
while Jill never sought recognition, her dedicated time and passion for the juniors did not go unnoticed.
We do nominations in December, and those are voted on in January. And somebody had mentioned my name, which I think at that point, maybe my heart started beating faster, because it's kind of like, you hear the word president and you realize, oh gosh, what Me? Wait, who? The one thing I said is, I really actually am open for a new challenge. I think it would be a lot of fun. Everybody has to have a voice. I don't want to be the person who goes in and says, okay, this is how it's done. And being flexible is another thing that I think is important. And my last is just organization. I feel like I'm, between career and work, or between career and my juniors, I'm very organized. At home, I wish I could be a little bit more organized, but we'll get there.
The juniors are aiming to increase membership next year, and Jill wants others to experience the same joy of volunteering.
Juniors is such a fun group. We do such important work. We're allowed to have lives outside of juniors. It's not expected to become your whole entire world. It's a great way to get to know people in the community, and it's a great way to really give back to communities, to organizations, to whatever kind of your focus is. We'll find a way to help you give back to that.
And the winner of the 2023 Unsung Hero Award is Jill Johnson, President of the Mount Prospect Juniors Women's Club.
We have Jill Johnson, Mount Prospect Junior Women's Club President, Unsung Hero Award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Can you tell me a little bit about what you do? I know that you spend an enormous amount of time and energy and passion in this, and we'd love to hear more about it.
Sure. It's basically just, being a president, you run meetings and people come with their ideas and we find ways to get things done. And, we fundraise, we give back to organizations and in any type of monetary donation, or we do any sort of, within our members, we will find ways that we can maybe collect goods if they need, help with food drives, any sort of drives that they may have. Sure. We try to help that and get together with that. Coming up, we have Knots of Love, which we've always kind of, been a part of, whether that means helping make blankets, wash blankets, or just even, getting members to donate laundry soap. So
yeah, this is an endless amount of work, and you seem very humble about it, but I know that this is a huge job for you. Can you tell me some of the organizations that you specifically help?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we've recently donated to the Mount Prospect Emergency Fund, the Mount Prospect Food Pantry. We recently donated to Wings, Lemons of Love, NWSRA, which is a really great organization. They're all amazing organizations. So yeah,
and that's why it's an unsung award, because clearly that you give all of your time and energy and passion and work tirelessly and endlessly to make this happen.
It's really amazing. As I mentioned in my video, it's just amazing the reaction that you get, and you realize that you're making a difference in somebody's life. Is when maybe they're kind of at a moment where they just need that extra help. So
you do it because you get something out of it from just giving of yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why you won this award. And we so appreciate you and all of the time and passion and energy that you give. And so well deserved.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Lucky to have
it.
you here in Mount Prospect.
Thank you. I'm just happy I've gone up a step, down a step, and my award has not broken, so I feel like I'm going good tonight.
We're going to take good care of it tonight. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you very much.
Nice
I
to meet
appreciate
you, and
it.
congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to celebrate the Best Neighbor Award. This award recognizes a resident of Mount Prospect who exemplifies the meaning of being a good neighbor.
My name is John Ward. I've lived in Mount Prospect since 2006, but I've lived in the area, grew up in Des Plaines, so I've lived in the area most of my life.
For years, John's property has been the neighborhood venue for many special occasions.
We've had countless parties, and I'm right in the center of the block, and the neighbor and I have an adjoining driveway, so it's kind of extra wide. We used to have Halloween parties. My kids are grown now, so it's kind of stopped. But we used to have Halloween parties every year, and it's kind of funny because I'd go to Aldi's the cheapest place to buy pumpkins, and I'd hand 40 or 50 children knives to go carve a pumpkin, and all the neighbors from the block would come down and watch to make sure they didn't injure themselves. We have a block party. I'm right in the center of the block, so usually the bounce house and slides and stuff, the front of my yard looks like an amusement park, and people pitch in to get all this stuff. It's not just me purchasing.
When asked what makes a good neighbor, John's mind went to his late neighbor Larry, who is always there for others.
Larry, who passed away, and we miss him dearly. If something went wrong in the neighborhood, Larry was always, the first guy to knock on the door and say, "Is everything okay?" or if there's something like that. So, we have kind of a low spot in Mount Prospect, and I think probably we've all had flooding, and I've put in a number of sump pumps because it's really not that hard to put a sump pump in. So that's certainly something that I've done in lots of the houses or gone down there.
Even when John was at his lowest, he has had a caring community of support looking out for him.
Probably one of the worst days and best days of my life was the morning of my mom's funeral. And my sister walked down, knocked on my door and said, at like 6:30 in the morning, and said, "Is your basement flooded?" And I don't know, I was sleeping, of course. And so we walked downstairs, and the basement had about an inch of water in it from the floods. Like, wow, could anything be worse this day? And I have a recording studio in the basement and a bunch of furniture and computers, and I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do. And she walked out of the house and knocked on a bunch of houses, and within 10 minutes there was 30 neighbors in my basement. Everything was in my garage 20 minutes later. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. So the neighbors do things for each other.
Though he is being honored as best neighbor, John believes that his friendliness, like that of his village, is simply a way of life.
So it really is a special neighborhood. And I think it's funny, again, because I moved here knowing that in advance. So it's not, I feel like I'm just kind of following the lead. I know so many people who, have done so much for me. And so helping others is kind of obvious. It's kind of, I'm just following the lead,
And the winner of the 2023 Best Neighbor Award is John Ward. Come on, Pine Street, let me hear ya.
And now we have John Ward, who has just won the Best Neighbor Award at our Shining Star Gala. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think I'd like to have you as my neighbor.
Maybe. I don't know. I need to ask my neighbors that.
Actually, I'm positive I'd like to have you as a neighbor.
When I won the award, I said to them they were I had to do that video, and it's kind of a weird thing.
You were lucky enough to do the video.
And I said, shouldn't you be talking to my neighbors instead of me? It really seems to be more appropriate to talk to them.
Well, we've got you, so we're glad to talk to you, and maybe you can give us a little insight as to why your neighbors are so appreciative of all that you do for them.
I moved onto my block. I bought my sister's house, and she had lived on the block for 15 years, and she did a tear down 2 houses down. She was never going to leave Pine Street.
Wow.
So I knew in advance. I've lived in LA, I've lived in Manhattan, I've lived around the country, and I knew what I was getting into when I came. And because I do live in such a great neighborhood, this is kind of a strange award because I have so many really good neighbors.
You are obviously a great neighbor. I know a big part of what you do revolves around the holidays. Can you give us a little bit of an idea what you do July 4th, Halloween, that kind of thing?
Well, my kids are now, almost out of college. So the Halloween parties we used to have, I used to go to Aldi. That's the cheapest place to get pumpkins. And I'd fill my car and I'd get about 50 pumpkins a year and hand, a little scared, hand children knives to cut pumpkins open. Unfortunately, my neighbors would come out and we'd all be watching them. So did a lot of Halloween parties. And then every Christmas we most years we win the best block. So we have everyone on our block comes out and puts out trees in honor of one of our neighbors who passed away many years ago. But that brings us together. We always, sing carols and together, and usually go to Sam's or Mrs. P and me to celebrate. So it brings us really, close.
And beyond the bonding and beyond the holidays, I know that you're very helpful for your neighbors in need. And that, I think, is the real crux of the award, where they can count on you and you're just kind without asking for anything in return. So we appreciate you here.
Thank you. I had when I won the award, I was really surprised. I know there's so many people who do so much. I told my neighbor across the street, Rosie, and she said, "Well, I have the plaque." And I said, "What do you mean you have the plaque?" And Larry, who lived across the street, passed away a few years ago, won the award. They won it in '97, and I always looked up to Larry, and he always used to say, he's like, "John, they lived across the street. I'll watch your side of the block. You watch my side of the block." And I definitely followed in his lead. He always had his Christmas tree. Always had every neighbor child had their name on it. He'd hand make little ornaments. So I kind of think this whole thing is just following the lead of really great people. So that's why it's just kind of a strange award.
Not every street is as wonderful as yours, but here in Mount Prospect, we're lucky to have wonderful people and wonderful neighbors like you. So thank you so very much. Well-deserved award.
Thank you very much. All right. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the award ceremony for the 2023 Shining Star Awards. I would like to thank the Village of Mount Prospect, my fellow volunteers from the Special Events Commission, and for all their hard work in bringing this event together. We are thankful and we are grateful for our sponsors that are reshaping the town we live in. HQ Residences, Mount Prospect Lions Club, Nicholas & Associates, Peterson Roofing, and Prospect Place. Thank you to all of our silver and bronze level sponsors, which are located on the brochure card on your tables. The other part of the night, over there, is the band beginning. And you'll have cigar rollers here in just a little while. Later on in the night, we'll have tacos provided by Lady Dahlia, which is phenomenal. Up next, after a quick turn of the head to the side of the room, please enjoy dancing. Thank you all, and enjoy your evening.